All right. Good morning, everybody. A little bit of a surprise after yesterday's rejection up there. Let's get some charts up here. Do without them. All right. So, there was this whipsaw action yesterday. It was, wow, was it kind of whippy all over the place. And we ended with a wide range or range expansion topping tail. Now it's the futures. We're going to look at the spiders, of course. And this morning, totally negating it. And the futures are not making a new all-time high, yet the S&P 500 is. I don't know that that means too much. It does mean on a certain level that the futures, a lot of times the futures anticipate or move ahead of the cash market. And now it's behind. Maybe it's going to play some catch up, but futures traders being more aggressive, um, anticipatory of what may happen, usually it kind of leads a little, and it's not. So we'll see if it means anything or not by the end of the day. Um, like with every wide range bar, which we have right now, of course, it's not done on the daily time frame, but every wide range bar, there's going to be a run that creates a void. So prices are up at this level, very little support to stop it from falling all back. We'll see if it stays up there. So with every range expansion bar, like so, for example, like down here at the bottom is where we get excited. And down here, after prices have pulled back and you get a wide range expansion bar. And most times it's followed up by a narrow range bar or a narrow bodied bar. And it's like a resting period. And then it goes higher. So here we are, right? Prices have run up. It starts to stall. Big topping tail bar. It it didn't. So I'm eyeballing it. Not sure if it closed under the prior day's low or not, but it's close enough there. And so now it's negating it and moving back up. Well, if it stays up there today, which probably not going to stay up there, consistently, there'll be some profit taking in the first thing there. It comes down a little bit, but just like everything we do, the factory work, what was resistance should become support. And while that it is minor support, this is a big kind of light bulb moment for me years ago. But that this whole idea of minor support and resistance and looking beyond what's directly to the left, because I was trying to figure out how many times I saw prices move beyond that like it wasn't there. And it was more about the current data, which is really common sense. The current data is most meaningful, but look, we know traders look at that old concept there. And it's a little subjective, but it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So here we are, and looking at the futures, and just throw that on, charts. And it's not what I didn't meant to do that. I wanted to do this, duplicate it on. It's different here. Should, yeah, put it right there like that. So should be support. It's on the top of there. Should it come all the way down there? Most of the time, not. Uh, but there isn't much to stop it. We'll see if it hangs there or not. And certainly, if this turns into a topping tail by the end of the day for this and the spiders, there's an expression, put a fork in it, it's done. Because if it can go all the way back up there and it fails again, and the only caveat, this options, quarterly options expiration, that's, you know, today and tomorrow, of course. But at that point, I think it'll be time to at least put the foot in the water to buy some put options to see if this is going to follow through to the downside from there into next week. But a little ahead of what is, so need to see what happens here with this bar and how it ends the day. So spiders. So hope mode that it stays in the upper range. Well, I suppose if you are hopeful or have a bias that the market is going to go up, That's what you would look for, that it stays in the upper part of the range. But now as we look at the spiders, and you can see my cursor where it's over the top of the recent range. You can see I'm just jiggling it around up here where it is. It's backed off a little bit, but it's over the top of that topping tail bar. So we know that based on this candlestick being like going up as it is to a new high and becoming a topping tail and closing at the low, there are traders that anticipated this going down this morning and are short. Well, maybe they had already bought put options, and now they're in pain. They're suffering. So I'm not saying they did something wrong. I mean, this is not in a downtrend. It's not a new all-time high. That's only one bar. So requiring, and that's, up to the individual, requiring confirmation of trading under that prior bar's low to at least get mildly aggressive is intelligent, and it could have gapped down this morning. It's like, okay, you missed your chance. That's a decision, and it's not necessarily a right or wrong, but there is a certain amount of probabilities as to say, hey, if this had broken down and now it came up to resistance and it formed this type of a bar, this shock bar as we call it, that would have been a much higher probability to say, do you want to get more aggressive without the confirmation of trading under a prior bar's low? That would have made a lot more sense. That even being said, I'm a little surprised it's gapping up where it is today above the high of that bar. But the requirement of a little extra confirmation of trading below a prior bar's low for shorts and for longs above a prior bar's high has really saved our butts over the years many, many, many times. And so it's a good rule. So here we are, gapping above the high of that bar, new all-time highs. It's about 5,700 ish. We're going to look at SPX and see where that is. And I look at this every day because we see the pre-market action, and then I can compare this where it's trading right now to SPX. This is what we're going to do. So right around, give or take, let's call it there. And yesterday, you remember, comments were, it was like up there. I was like, that's ridiculous. That's not going up there today. And the put strike was down there, and it didn't get to either one. And most days, it doesn't get to either one. It gives you a guideline as to what the extremes are. So this is opening up somewhere up here, assuming it stays there in the next 20 minutes. And this is more normal as to, the opening price being about in the middle of these extremes. Whereas yesterday, it was like, man, that's crazy how far up it was. And never even got close, even with all of that whipping around. So topping tail bar, new high rejection, hourly bar with a big nasty red bar, and it's gapping above the high. And so what this leads to is now there are two voids. The gap void. Now, the gap void is one thing. It's like, all right. So now what was resistance becomes support. Right? We put a line there, and all right, you're gapping up here. There should be buyers down there. Black and white. That's what the thought is. Now, if it was to come all the way back down, well, we know what that means, bearish. If it stays bullish today, that increases bullish expectations, which will, I suspect, if we keep an eye on the put call ratio intraday today for a while, and we see that this is the total put call ratio. If we see that this closed down, say around 0.6, below 0.7, if it's at around 0.5, put a fork in it. It's done. It's like it's finished. But the equity is just beginning to touch the lower bands. We've got breadth. It's not terrible. It could go higher, and I suspect the A's advancers minus decliners with today's open, maybe it's going to open up at around 2,000. The NYSE tick should open up probably close to 1,500 or maybe better, which is confirmation of what we're seeing here pre-market. And then as that unfolds throughout the day, um, we'll see if these lines push up to extremes. And so while yesterday started much higher, again, the topping tail bar, look, advancers minus decliners were a minus 200. And now, if we got that bar and we saw advancers minus decliners down at minus 1500, you'd have that internal confirmation of how strong the selling was that created that bar. And so while the bar is, somewhat ominous looking because of the range expansion, the internals weren't. And at the end of the day, you could see this increase in put buying. It wasn't extreme, but you could see that just the sell-off there were these speculations, nothing wrong with it, that it would go down. And now it's not. And that's helping to push it back up again. All right, let's take a look around, as we always do. One of the things that we commented on during the week was the 13-week from here was moving down, and my point of view was they're going to cut half a point just based on this. Maybe it didn't mean they were going to do it, but look, all these opinions out there of what they think and what they think and why they think it and all that. We go and look and what's the market think? What's the market think? And this has been a reliable piece of information as to what the markets think, whoever creating this chart, banks, hedge funds, traders, whatever, that they were going to cut half a point. And now we see this continuation drop. So, I mean, just look at this weekly chart. And you go back and look at the weekly chart here and back here, the end of 2021, beginning 2022, we were telling subscribers, you see this? When that thing breaks out to the upside, there's going to be a problem. And we know what happened after that. So now this is all positive. Of course, that they're lowering interest rates and they're going to lower more. And so it's a good start, great start, which theoretically, from an intermediate term basis, helps to put a floor under the markets. And so we'll see if it continues to drop or whether it stabilizes down here, what it's going to do. The 10-year moving up a little bit. Interesting that it's doing that, but still in a downtrend. 5-year coming up a little bit, and that's at the bottom of the trading range. And give or take, it's at the bottom of the trading range there. So I'm going to keep an eye on these interest rates, these intermediate and longer term interest rates over the coming weeks to see how much they advance or the lack thereof. Yeah. Now, from the bullish point of view, this is positive, but it's at the top of the trading range, and that got a big topping tail bar. So we're going to keep an eye on these transports, because if they can hang up here at the top of this trading range, not collapse, and the markets can hold up, right, that kind of gives us kind of the thought of we have to be objective. We all know September hasn't turned out to be bad, of course. It was that crazy whipping around and then came back up. And then, October crashes. Oh, my God. But if these internals can stay up here and chop around here, and the broader markets can stay up near those highs, things start to come together when it may seem kind of illogical after the markets had been up, that maybe they'll continue to go up higher and into the end of the year. Maybe. Look, whatever the thoughts are that we get based on wherever you get those thoughts, right? Whatever you're looking at, you got to have balance. Meaning we don't just look at one thing. So when I look at the transports holding up like this, if I see crude oil, it shouldn't go up too much, but look at this, it's kind of holding up here pretty well after being up. If this starts to inch higher, if that's kind of a vote for the economy. Now, we don't want to see interest rates move up too much. We want to start to see a balance where, this comes up a little and maybe this continues to come down a little, and the other yield curves of the very short versus it, the longer term begin to stabilize, you know, keeping an eye on all of this to see what, reading the tea leaves as it all going to come together. Gold, we'll back off here today, but new all-time highs. They cut interest rates, maybe inflation. We just do not have a solid sell. We're going to see if those internals come together by next week. You've got the options expiration. If you went outside and you looked up last night, there's a full moon. I think there are concerns, but we don't have confirmation yet. And that's what we're going to be looking for in the coming days and into the beginning of next week. Oh, Alex, it's a wolf moon. Were you howling last night at the moon? I can imagine there really is such a thing. Yeah. All right. So yesterday in the green room, you brought up belly dancing, and now we're talking about howling at the moon. We're getting a little crazy here in the green room. All right, everybody. Let me finish up here. So look, up top of the trading range for the Russell. So things are coming together to be like, this is all great, right? Everything's lined up. Interest rates coming down, new all-time highs. Transports, see what they're going to do. NASDAQ, up here nicely. If this turns into a topping tail at the end of the day, that'll be another, fork being put in there. We got to look at the Qs and where are they at here? Gapping up to that next pivot. So don't be so anxious to press the buy button here. We'll see how this all unfolds. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. I just typed in the weekly options letter this. It should be put spread heaven. Uncontrolled pullbacks. But I have to start out by saying, wow. I always say I like waiting the following day after Fed meeting to get the true direction. And when I woke up today and saw this gap, I did not see this coming. I said in the nightly video that I still like the Qs if it were to take out the high. Little, measured move type thing. But I said over the high, I'm bullish, under the low, I'm bearish. It's just getting there in one opening print. Makes it harder, but they're holding incredibly well pre-market here. So let's see what we got as always. LRs, and we're 100% bullish open positions in all three letters. So we're we're tightening stops, took a lot of profits yesterday, but we still have this huge open inventory. So this LRCX we were in on what's today, Thursday, on Tuesday. W bottom, now it's gapping over the red bar. I said sell a third pre-market. We're up, I don't know, $15 or whatever. 17. I have MU, another W bottom here. This one's been a relative weakness. I have an alarm over here. Definitely lagging the SMHs, but see another measured move type thing here. I think this can go to 250. So let's keep an eye on semis. Dollar Tree, up alarm. We're in trail mode here. We've been in this as a climb mode for a long time. It's been a very easy management. Dash alarm. We gave this as a long yesterday over today's high, and also put spread. The gap's going to mess up so many things for new ideas. EGHT alarm. We bought a half lot yesterday. You can buy the back half. Let me tell them now, back half over 196. Let me tell them that right now. Just, bottoming pattern, catch up, trade. Sick. Alarm still Cree. We're in this in the ETF letter, bullish daily, weekly, monthly. My up alarm went off, looks good. Milko alarm. I said buy 5-minute high, another bottoming pattern. A little bit similar to that EXTR. Another looks good. Spy 5-minute high, stop yesterday's low. And those are all my alarms. Let's see what we got here. Couple earnings. Kerbal. Things that run into earnings like this, close with topping tail, opening flattish. That is a great 1 DTE call spread if there's any juice. DRI restaurant. Look at that. That's a bear sandwich pre-market. It's gapping too big. It's up 12 bucks. Wow, this is a restaurant. Look at this igniting bar here. I don't know what caused that. That's on fire. And restaurants are a barometer of consumer spending, of course, disposable income. FDS, I don't see a gap, but well, actually, the shows here up 22, but I don't see any prints. We'll come back to it. If it is opening up 22, this could be a 1 DTE call spread. SCX, SCS had I think a pre-release or something or other. Bearish gap, but range bound, no pattern. Pygmy, I forget what the news was, but that's getting whacked. Argin, 42, and nothing good there. What? I had another bio on our list. I have an alarm, but I forget the symbol. I forget. Wigme, Bitcoin popping here with risk assets. Wigme and Greg, look at Ether. You might find interesting for a bounce. Over this pivot right here. Stop yesterday's low.
Isn't that the one you said the other day when I mentioned it? You can't trade it. You got to look through the futures.
Well, I didn't say you can't trade it. I said that Alex said it's not real per se, the way it's calculated, that the real price is the Ether futures. But no, you can definitely trade it. And that was what I added. I'm like, all right, I don't care if it's real or not. If I see a pattern, I'm going to trade it. So Baba is up. Look how crazy up this is a crazy rising channel at the 20 and the 50. Remember, I've been saying for a while this looks like a long-term bottoming pattern on Baba. I think they're barking about some AI stuff. There's our Milko LRCX. So let's keep an eye on semis. Lulu, I mentioned yesterday as room to about 280. Gas messing it up. CHK oil doing nothing. Top and tail. Bravo X-ray. Yeah, it's they fading these things scare me. That was a very, very bullish breakout right there. In fact, we should have been buying it right there. Stop under the bottoming tail. Oh, I said we have 0 shorts. That's an incorrect statement. We have Charlie India bear call credit spread. So it's not a short, but it's a bearish position. That's our only one. the big old M top. I don't see any prints. I don't see any prints, so hopefully it opens flat or lower. All right, Dollar Tree alarm. Let me set it higher. I have a very tight stop in this under that closing 15-minute pivot, so it's fine. We'll just keep milking it. Wow, LRCX just hit my up alarm again. Look at that. Wow, I just like surged. That's another $6. That's nice. YouTube, that's about SMCI. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not gapping over yesterday's high, but I like it as a potential bottoming pattern. So yeah, let's put that on the list. All right, Affirm. Man, Greg, remember this was the one I wanted core long right here. Darn it. That thing continues to do well. Look at that beautiful monthly too. Oh man, that was stupid. Hubs, hopefully it'll be an inside day. BBY I'm watching, but it's not ready. It's actually anything not gapping up a lot today is relative weakness. So glancing at the Dow 30, you got Johnson & Johnson, Coke, PG, Walmart all down just marginally. So that's telling me that those are all boring stocks, right? So that's totally telling me risk on is the market's perception right now. They're like, I ain't buying Coke when I can buy a FANG stock. Look at Microsoft ripping here pre-market. That just took off in the last 15 minutes. Look at that. So risk is on. All right, let me focus on. All right, Axon, we're long. I guess my 390 alarm went off, but we'll come back to it. Target, we bought a half lot yesterday. That's a nice gap up. You know what? What's our basis on that? 156. One. Very good. Greg, I told you over 1500. We're at 1600. It just felt like we were gonna gap up a lot. I mean, the thing I just felt breath wise that it would be over 1500 based on my experience. Third one. Siri alarm. Remember I talked about that? Had earnings yesterday.
For what time?
Siri did
You know,
it.
Dan, that thing is listening to you all day and all night and reporting back to people.
It is so funny. What time do you want the alarm? But you know, Greg, I've said it before. That is exactly why I have zero interest in having one of those Alexa in my house. Here, remember, Alex, I made the comment. I have no idea why this is not showing prior data in a split. That's not the right answer, you know. A split will just change the prices, but this is a nice 1, 2, 3 now. If it closes like this, All right, LRCX coming in. So Greg, any interest on Siri here? I don't know what the deal is with the data, but I mean, if it were to close like this, it's a no-brainer, but it's triggering now.
Do a
Uh,
half. Do a
yeah,
half. It's a climber.
yeah, no, good point. Yeah, Siri, yeah, it's just a climb out, but yeah, a piece of garbage. All right, well, I'll wait a little bit. Hey, Boeing alarm, relative weakness. I had an alarm at 155.50. This will be a great, maybe 30-minute low. So let me reset the alarm. Hope it doesn't go off until after 10. Little breakout failure now in the four horsemen 5 minute. That's why we said don't rush into things. Um, yeah, you know what, Steve? I personally have zero expectation of privacy in today's life. Zero. You know, they in law school they talk about expectation of privacy. You can't stare in someone's windows at their home, this and that. BS with all this spying and hold on, I'm looking at Exxon 385. Let's move stop break even. This thing's been a little relative weakness. But let's come. Hey, Steve, remind me later. I want to tell you something about photos. But I don't want to get distracted right now when we're busy. It's true though. No, don't be calling my bro a hillbilly because he bought a farm. All right, I'm gonna get to you all one by one. I gotta update the spreadsheet. Yeah, Lulu was on my list, but I surely ain't chasing. CK. I had an alarm on that. Yeah, you could buy the high CK. Stop yesterday's low. Delta 20, that's about brothers. Let's put CK down here. Uh, brothers. It's it's a churner, ideal entry was here at the 200 closing breakout, but it went sideways with a void. It's fine. Just I would say gauge the umph and the horsepower in the broader markets if before getting on board moving trains. Bit F. What is this? This has to be I put the alarm in the wrong thing. Never mind. I put it in Boeing. Never mind. All right, CPay bottom right's coming in hard, so I'll just set a new alarm at 310 spot 50. And then not worry about it. Those are all my alarms. I think. Yeah, those are all the alarms, and I want to just go through opens. All right, target. I already moved stuff. Set the alarm. 57.
You raise the stop on GoDaddy yet? I haven't been, didn't hear you if you did.
No, I didn't. Oh, shoot. Why didn't I? I don't know. Let's sell a third. 158.61. Yeah, thanks for the heads up.
Beauty.
158, 158.61. It's going through open right now. Hey, clack, 30-minute high. That is a void. That looks great. 30-minute high. Meta triggered. Hmm. I like the weekly breakout. I don't like the daily entry. Yeah, over the high, Brook B. Triple M I like better just because it's closer to support in the 20. Gold gapped up, but yesterday's a messy bar. Herbal I mentioned, call spread, that's a mess. P, let's move stuff. 41.86. Yeah, Primus room, sure. A lot of continuation type patterns like that. Amazon, yeah, I like Amazon 30-minute high. Sammy boy, I saw that one pre-market. I kind of liked it the best for a new trade. Tesla new high. We can tighten our stuff on the put spread. That bid 5 cents has. We should be out of Tesla. 22.15. Midpoint. No, we're not. Tesla, Greg, 30-minute high. Take that back. I like this better than Amazon. Amazon just got demoted to number 2 position. 32.8. Yeah, it's 9:46. Let's just buy the high. Stop this lower, stop under 226. Let's go down. Yeah, man. Yeah, green looks good. Dollar Tree. Pay, Greg, that was yours the other day. Tesla looks like it's perking there. Let me check put spread also. $237.22. 227.50 for tomorrow. 40 cents. That's actually our second Tesla that I'm putting on. I guess for new people. Yeah, over the high. I like, sure. I'll set an alarm. So let's close the other one. Dollar Tree out. Nice trade there. We only had a third left with a tight stop, so I'm happy about that trade. LRCX coming in. I moved stop 30-minute low. We sold a third, so that one's fine. Yeah, now we're coming in a little harder. So the bulls for, day trading, at least are losing confidence that it's going to be a gap and go. Made almost $5 on Dollar Tree. Yeah, I like that over the high. ADI over the high, I like a lot, particularly if it closes like this. I'll set an alarm along with FI. Set it at 229.80. Greg, XLY stopped yesterday.
Sure. Yeah.
Beh, aspettavo, sto scherzando, adesso da fare.
ADI. I just don't know where the stop is. That's my only